Well, geez, didn't start with bread, that's for sure. Um, I think in the long run, yeah, this is a long story, but it all started with my wife, right? And I think in some senses I would have preferred myself experiencing something, but what happened to her, she, at the age of 23, got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And that, it wasn't just that, she had tremendous gut issues and the quality of life was just terribly low. And at such a young age, I couldn't accept that diagnosis and that would be her destiny, right? Because she had literally, she couldn't live, she couldn't think, energy levels were extremely low. And that just clicked something in my mind that that's not right. Okay, so that launched an entire long investigation and life journey that just redirected the way we think about things like food and health and things you take for granted. So over a period of about 7, 8, 9 years now, we've just researched, I think it's like close to 10 years, we've continuously researched just, the human body and health. And, as Christians, we couldn't always just spiritualize everything, right? We live in a natural world and there's just things that we learn that we need to address and need to look at. So on this journey, I attended a workshop around bread, and the guy just shared such fundamental things around the way bread is being manufactured, and especially the seeds, how it's harvested and processed. And I really just latched onto that idea that the staple food that's supposed to be nourishing and, just good for us, in fact isn't, and it just didn't make sense. So as the health journey continued, I continuously went back to this idea about seeds and bread and farming, and that stuck with me just about the most of everything that I've learned. And from that, I would say the baking that I do now sort of just flowed from that idea. After the workshop, the guy demonstrated how it's not really just about the bread but the flour, right? And the entire process needs to be correct. So after demonstrating it in the workshop, I basically started from there to bake my own bread. So it's been 8, 9 years of baking for myself and friends and family. And with lockdown, I just had a bit more time working from home, and then it just grew from there. So it's been baking for a long time, but now in the last, I would say, almost a year now, it's become an official sort of business and trying to get it to more people. Well, that's the thing about the bread. It's really a timeless thing, right? There is skill involved in baking sourdough especially, and you can get the quality. I normally call it cosmetic quality, right? Because getting the health thing right, that's what I mean by timeless. People have always baked bread the same way for millennia, since the beginning of time. Get the seeds, you basically crush what you need for the day, mix with water and salt, let it ferment, and that's it. That's been the process, right? So from there, you can look at the cosmetic sort of texture of the bread and the shape, and there's some small things you can do to make it look better, and that I'm trying to experiment with. But for me, that's by far less important than having a good nutritious substance. So that's what I'm aiming for.